is going on, all-terrain nation? Whether it be two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, or these kick-ass Broncos, we mostly all like to drive. Some of us are still waiting. This is your Bronco Talk Live, presented by White Knuckle Off-Road Products, the best rock sliders, in my opinion, out there. All they ask you to do, go to their website. That's all they want to know. They just want to make sure you see their product, and we finally got them on our Bronco, and I was very excited because it was in the nick of time because Windrock was here, and I'm sure we'll talk about that in a little bit. But first, if I do not do this, what is going on, Miss Allie Dubois?
Oh, we're just living the life.
How's things at Ford lately, man? Crazy?
Everything's great.
Okay.
Everything's fantastic.
That's going to be the new drinking game, I think, when Allie says everything's great. Like
everything's fantastic. Nothing's wrong at all.
Well, so first off, I know inquiring minds want to know. I think you sold your house, so it's pack up time.
Yeah, so I close on my house my new house this week.
Congratulations.
And I probably close on my current house probably right after Super Celebration.
Well, that'll be a big celebration for you then, right?
It will. I'll go celebrate down in Tennessee, and then I'll have to hurry up, come here, pack all my stuff, and get out.
Hey, family. Allie's like, hey, could you go ahead and have that done for me? I'd appreciate that.
Oh, yeah. I've already texted my dad. I've texted my cousin. We need all the help we can get.
You're already planning like a remodel of this house. It's crazy all the stuff I see with you on social media.
Do you want to know? I had no idea how expensive cabinets were. Oh my Lord. Like between cabinets and flooring, which carpet wasn't as bad as I thought, but it's still pretty expensive. But yeah, it's going to be a project for sure.
Well, and then Andrea. What's up, buddy? Thank you for that super chat. We greatly appreciate. Man, I cannot talk tonight. I'm warming up. So, I literally just jumped in the chair because my daughter had a middle school softball game, and it just kept going and going and going. And it's here in Middle Tennessee, like it's 40s, getting into the 30s, but it's still damp out. You're just like, could this please just end this game? Somebody just end this game. But anyway, so Kelly will be here hopefully in a little bit, but until then, you'll have to do with just me. And so there's a poll. Somebody said I was slacking on the polls. I put a poll up that for channels, I'm curious what you guys want to see more of. So truck and SUV reviews, you like both, or more off-road videos? So if you guys didn't know, we did a Windrock video this past week with Tennessee Broncos. So it's the first time getting to meet the crew at Tennessee Bronco. So it's weird, Allie. They literally live like 20 minutes from me, the head of Tennessee Bronco, and I have to drive all the way to East Tennessee to meet these people. But it is what it is. But Windrock called, and you've yet to experience Windrock.
I have not experienced Windrock. Maybe in a couple weeks. We'll see what happens. Or I'll just ride with someone. We'll see.
All right. Well, I will say your Michigan people were pleasantly surprised at the terrain. It's completely different than what you guys are used to. So I think you'll have a blast doing it.
That's what I've heard. But I heard everyone had a fantastic time.
They did. And speaking of fantastic times, if I don't do this, the guy over in East Tennessee is going to be mad. We got Mr. Bronco Live 365 himself. What's going on, Josh?
Yeah. What's going on, guys? How's your day?
I feel like I just saw you.
You did, just like 72 hours ago.
I know, man. But we had a blast at Windrock, and I
was going to say 2 minutes ago, but
your son did not wash my Bronco, though. He washed your Bronco, but I couldn't get mine in there in time.
He did, and then he passed right out as soon as we got in the car. I wore him out.
But we had a good time over there, man. Trail 4 was just interesting enough, I think, for the newer people over there. They got to experience, a little, I won't call it rock crawling, but it is for new people. Like, let you get an idea of what that park is about.
Yeah, it lets you get a little taste of, what Windrock has to offer, but there's a lot more extreme stuff over. But it was fun. 28 Broncos went up and down. No one, got stuck, broke anything. So it's a good day.
Yeah, and a lot of new people, like people that are just experiencing Bronco life for the first time. That was the big plus. And we got some vintage Broncos, which I was happy to see.
Yeah, we did. And like you said, the one new guy that I knew that came, bought a two-door Bronco. His wife bought a first edition Bronco Sport. She didn't want to go on the trails. And then I got talked her into it, and she went out and just had a blast. She called me, emailed me today, and just said, hey, thanks a lot for having everybody out. Can't wait for Super Celebration, ready to go back out again and get dirty.
So wait, did she go in the Bronco Sport?
No, she left it in the parking lot. That's her baby. But they took the two-door. I've got an Outer Banks now, non-Sasquatched. But he called me in the email. He wanted me to 35s, a 3-inch lift kit and some other stuff. So he's ready. He saw what everybody else had, and he was like, "I've got to build this thing."
Always be selling, man. The ABCs always be closing.
Yep.
Nice. Well, that's awesome. Probably some of those new people are actually in here, and I've already seen comments about my shirt. Yes, Gia, or I forget who bought me this shirt and sent it to me.
I think it was. Wait, didn't Nikki make it?
Did she? I don't know. It was just sent to me. So Nikki maybe did this.
I think Nikki made it.
But
yeah, there she is. I think she did.
But anyway, so tonight, guys, we're going to talk some Super Cel. I know you feel like we've been talking quite a bit of it, but that's how of an important event I think this is. It's the kickoff here in Tennessee. It's usually just getting nice in the 75, 80 degree temperatures. So bring some sunscreen. And speaking of Super Cel, Josh, you want to introduce Mr. Tom?
Yeah, so Tom Broberg, the guy who him and his family run Bronco Super Cel. They also run Bronco Driver Magazine. Been around Broncos forever. Met him a couple years ago, and so he's on the channel. Going to talk to us tonight about Super Cel and Bronco Driver Magazine and see what's going on.
Mr. Tom, we appreciate you jumping on here.
Yeah, I did jump on there, didn't I? Oof.
Oh, man. Well, Tom, welcome to the show. We have, I'm sure, lots of questions to ask you. But first off, hopefully the weather where you're at's pretty nice. You're in that nice lazy boy. You're in the Josh custom couch over there, lazy boy, I think.
Yeah, normally that's Josh over there propping up.
Josh knows how to do it. I'm still a newbie at all this technical stuff, but I'm getting better.
Well, so Tom, we greatly do appreciate you being on here. I got to experience your event, obviously, when 6th Gen, they did the debut and all that. You guys were doing the rides and stuff. But you guys have been around a lot longer than that. And I don't think a lot of the newer Bronco guys realize that you guys kind of kept the light going on for the Bronco community, right?
Yeah, I guess Don and I and our family were kind of the torchbearers for the 20 years that Ford decided to take a hobbyist. You know, we've been out there since 2002 wheeling and promoting the Bronco brand. And it's good to see a lot of new blood. I got to say, it's been exciting to see a lot of different things, different people. And the most exciting thing is to see the younger generation, you know, wrapping their arms around this Bronco phenomenon.
Well, since you guys have been carrying the torch a little bit, what kind of brought you to wanting to start this event? What was it? I mean, was it just like some friends getting together and it just keeps growing, or how does this work?
You know, that's always a common question. How did the Bronco Super Celebration get started? And actually, I don't know if you know Pat Ford at Dennis Carpenter. He put on an F100 Super Nationals in Pigeon Forge. And Pat and I were friends, and he said, "Hey, it's the 40th anniversary of the Bronco. Can you bring a few Broncos out to be the special class at the F100 Super Nats?" And I said, "Sure. I'll bet you I can get 15 or 20 out there." Well, lo and behold, when we opened the gate at 7 o'clock, we had 200 Broncos lined up. We had more Broncos than F100s.
Wow.
I mean, the parade went all the way around. We had to stop and go on the parade lap in order to get. So we knew we were onto something people were looking for. And that's kind of how we started. It kind of started as Pat says, you need to come up with a super name, a great name. So we said, okay, it's going to be a super celebration. And it's, 20 years taken on a life of its own from there.
Right. So you start as a little thing, but what leads to Townsand? Just because the event's growing and you need a place to do it? Actually,
I've done a few other events in Townsand, and we really loved the area. We didn't want to get into the Smoky Mountains. The tourist, what we call the Redneck Disney World section of the Smoky Mountains.
Yeah, right.
Because they were not really, they didn't favor car shows as much. And Townsand was just so beautiful. It had the drives. It had the quiet side. All of the motel owners are independent owners. The restaurants were independent. It's 30 miles from a McDonald's or a Walmart, which, that's a definite plus in our book for when you put on an outside event. So it just kind of fit. And I had been doing a couple British car shows up there for some clients, and it was just kind of how it's taken on a life of its own from that point. Well,
so with, I mean, obviously, Ford launches the 6th generation Bronco probably at the worst time ever. Obviously there was lockdowns. You guys, I'm sure, were affected by this, but then they wanted to do kind of a ride. And honestly, late October, you guys got the kind of reveal where the first people to kind of get to see it. How did that come about for you guys?
Well, actually, Dave, we actually unveiled the two-door in September at our Colorado Super Celebration.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Josh was a good part of that. And the irony is you should have known something was coming with the Bronco, because when we landed in Denver, it was 99 degrees. By the time we unveiled the Bronco, the two-door in Colorado, 2 days later, what did we have, Josh? 15 inches of snow on the ground.
Yeah, I went for a run that morning, and there was 15 inches of snow, and it was bad.
Yeah, and see, it was gonna be unveiled in April in Tennessee, but then COVID, so we had to move the Tennessee event back to October. So they did a two-door in Colorado, and then the four-door was unveiled here, and at the Super Cel in Tennessee.
I remember the little black two-door that you guys did, and you had a little corral. And I remember I wasn't lucky enough to be there, but all the TFL and those guys were rushing up there to try to be first with it. And
you know what's crazy is there was pictures from our show field at like 8:01 all over the internet, and I'm like, I haven't even seen, where are these guys taking these pictures from? We haven't even opened the gate yet. You know?
Wow,
we were still eating breakfast.
Yeah, my mall guards had to eat breakfast.
Who was Ford's marketing guy there for Bronco? I forget. I never remember his name. Allie, you should know it. Esteban. Yeah, I remember him freezing.
Was the Bronco brand manager at the time.
Esteban? Yeah, I remember seeing video of him freezing up there because he was not prepared for the weather, and that sounded great. But by the time October rolls around, I guess you guys had already pushed Super Cel, the spring event, to October.
Yeah.
And then the Madhouse, because they were going to reveal what the little overland style Bronco they built. And I know there was the big truck there. And I remember a friend of mine snapping pictures inside the truck, and those pictures just going viral like nuts. I mean, it was like your event was a rock star event all of a sudden.
Yeah. You know, we were expecting that kind of a response, but what we weren't expecting was what kind of people came from everywhere just to see this thing. I mean, you know, people were driving 12, 15, 20 hours just to get a glimpse of the Bronco. And, you know,
nice.
That at that point, you knew Ford was onto something very successful, and the cult following and the heritage, you know, all the history was going to take effect and grow from there.
Well, I remember spring of 21, there was a couple from Hawaii that flew there just to ride in one.
Well, you're not even close. You had people that flew in from Iceland, Colombia.
Wow.
It was an international crowd. I had a guy there from Sweden. It's like, what the heck? You know, he comes up and introduces himself, speaks broken English, says he's been reading our magazine for years, and he came from Sweden.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So, you know, a lot of people don't know Iceland's in 1974, other than the VW Bug, Iceland sold more Broncos than any other vehicle. So it had kind of a world cachet back in its day. In Chile, in the 66 Olympics, you know, Ford sent 25 Broncos down for the Olympics. So I can foresee this new 6G really taking off, you know, worldwide with what Ford has to offer as far as, you know, the options, etc.
Well, with 6G jumping in, obviously it's been a hit for the brand, but you guys have catered to the old Broncos. And how has the older crowd that may not be interested in the newer Bronco, how are these two parties? Are they merging okay, or is it because I'll be honest, I mean, obviously you guys do a great job of the way you place all the Broncos, the generations, but I did meet a couple cantankerous old guys that didn't want any part of the 6G.
You know what's funny is it was when we started, it was mostly all, you know, Generation 1, and they didn't want anything to do with the Gen 2s or the Gen 3s. Then all of a sudden they bought a Gen 3 or Gen 5. So then it was okay for them to come, you know, and these old guys were so cantankerous. They'd say, oh, I'm never going to, the 6Gs better not show up, those new Broncos. And then last year I showed that their wives are driving the new Broncos in, you know, Don and I just giggled going, wait, this was the person that said they'd never accept, they, you know, emphatically wouldn't do anything with a new Bronco. And now they've got two, you know? So I think they're playing quite well together. I think that the 6th gen is a little bit younger generation, and they don't understand patience in the off-road. When the G, the first generation breaks down, they have to stop for a while and maybe, replace a hub or something. They still don't understand that. When we're in Colorado, you got to send the 6Gs on and fix the G1s and go on.
Yeah. Allie, what you got going on over there? What's
Yeah, actually, Seth has a question. Tom, what is your favorite Bronco and build year?
Well, I mean, I got a couple 76s. Ford kind of got it right, and a lot of you know the story about there wouldn't be a 74 through 77 Bronco without the gas embargo. But by the time they got it right in 76 and 77 with the automatics and a lot of the more luxury parts for the I call it, the seat driver. Then they went to the generation 2, but I'd say the 76, 77 would be my best. My fave.
Nice. Well, what's funny about this 6th gen is how it's brought the interest back into Broncos. But I remember before 6th gen was talked about, I mean, obviously 1st gens are still pretty desirable, but the prices weren't what they're at now. It's like suddenly with 6th gen come out, everybody thinks that, like, you guys have that the parts bin in the back where people bring all their stuff in. I remember seeing one that was just rusted, like there was no saving this Bronco, and the guy was like, yeah, 20 grand. And I was like, 20 grand for what? I mean, there's nothing there.
It's crazy. The thing is, I've always wanted a 1st gen for probably 10 years now. And watching the prices just skyrocket for these things, it's outrageous.
Yeah, who would have thunk it? When we tour early, we'd look at a Bronco and they'd say 15. Okay, well, you take 1,400. Yeah. It came to a point we'd be going around and we'd look at a Bronco, think it's worth 1,500. Say, hey, would you take 15? And the guy'd say, well, I'll take 14.5. It's like, whoa, what just happened?
Wow, that's crazy. So 21 Ford. I'm assuming they came to you like, hey, we want to drive people around in these and at least let them experience. How does that come about?
Yeah, that was Ford decided they wanted to do the ride and drives in 21. And we had to find a course that was close, that they could bring in celebrity drivers. A lot of people didn't know who they were riding with. I don't even know to this day if a lot of people knew who some of these drivers were. But Ford actually, they wanted to make a big splash and show people what they would do with the zero assist, with the, the above camera. So they felt that the shock effect would be putting these people in these vehicles and giving them a good little ride. Mm-hmm. And so we set up a little course. I hope you got to take the ride, Dave.
I did. Well, I got rained, so I only got part of the course.
And, Josh was probably a celebrity driver. He won't tell you that. Whoop, I just
Tom's telling jokes there and throwing his phone.
Yeah, I'm out. How do I get back on?
Oh, turn your camera back on. Just touch the screen, turn the camera back on.
So Josh, were you the celebrity driver? Were you one of
I was not no, but I was there doing the drives. So we had Shelby Hall, Kurt LeDuc, my buddy Jeff, and those guys. They all came out and did some drive stuff too. These guys have done all of the prototype testing for performance for a while. Everybody knows Shelby. It's Rod Hall's granddaughter, and Kurt LeDuc's won the Baja 1000 a couple times. And so you had a bunch of high-end guys that were Ultra 4 racers, and a lot of people didn't know who they were. They just got in the car and had a good old time.
Yeah. Well, I knew who a few were, but I can't. A Dennis or somebody, it seems like I rode with.
Yeah.
I think he was from Boston area.
Okay. Yeah.
Josh is better on all these guys than I am, but because he was part of it. But
yeah, so he's one of the guys that works for Driven Dynamics that is like the celebrity guys that go around and do all the testing for them.
Yeah, John, he was from North Carolina.
Yeah.
No, that was a fun time. And I was amazed, for one, like I didn't get to be there in the fall because it just didn't work out for us. We were still dealing with, the world that was, but by spring, I was surprised. Like I'd heard rumors that there was going to be a ride along, but I was like, no, at least I'll get to see them. That was a big thing for me, but to get in the ride the things, that really is when like the panic of like, did I order the right product kicks in once you ride in one? Because really before that, nobody knew much about it till you guys were able to have them at your event. Nobody knew too much of what you were kind of ordered.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'll even say from working at a dealer standpoint, I didn't know what I ordered until I went to the dealer preview for Off Rodeo. That was the first time I actually got to sit in one and actually see one.
And the ride and drive we put in Colorado was even more extreme, and they were letting people drive the Bronco of Sports out there, and it became a big hit. That was probably what, I said, how many Broncos did they sell because of the ride along that weekend? They wouldn't disclose their figures, but I could see them taking orders.
Yeah, they did stop taking. Well, clearly we all know now they didn't ever stop taking orders when they might have should have. But did you get to ride in any, Tom, before anything kicked up? Did you get to experience them?
I mean, the first one that we got was out there in Colorado. I was part of the group that got to go as it was being built. I know Josh was part of that, and we got to see them. We had to have our cameras confiscated, and we couldn't talk amongst ourselves, and they had bars up. No, they didn't have the bars up, but we had to sign our life away. We couldn't say anything as they were. And, a few of us have some funny stories. We wish we had some pictures of some of the things they had as they were building these things, but I'm sure that will come out in the future. Some of the giggles that we saw that ended up not being on the final product.
Yeah. So, well, and I don't know if a lot of people realize, like, you do Bronco Driver Magazine as well, right?
I do. I've been doing that for 21 years.
So was that always been a part of the event itself, or how did the two operate?
We started the event. Actually, if you pre-curse the Super Celebration, there was what was called the free-for-all. We had an off-road event in Summertown, which is close to you, down south of Nashville, at an off-road park, starting in about 2002, that we did off-roading events at. Had a weekend of craziness with the Broncos, and
Summertown is a crazy, no matter what, that place is crazy. So
you've been there. Okay.
Oh yeah.
so you do know the owner?
I don't know him, but I know enough stories. So
okay. I don't know what wife Darren's on. I didn't know what wife, but he that was always so much fun. And that's kind of where we did a couple of these other off-roading events, smaller. When I say smaller, we got probably up to 200 vehicles, didn't we? By the end of, it was probably 2005. We were up to like 200 Broncos. We do it a couple times a year. We had a fall event out there, and it became, that's kind of was the precursor to the Super Cel. And as these value of these vehicles got up, there was less and less of them that wanted to destroy them and wanted a little bit more calmer road cruises and a little less, carnage. And so that's kind of what transposed into the Super Cel.
So how many different Super Cel events are you guys planning on doing this year?
4. We have 4 planned this year. We do Tennessee, of course, April. We'll be doing Wisconsin Dells in July. And I got to say, I've probably done 90 to 100 Bronco events. And last year's Wisconsin Dells event was probably one of my more enjoyable, because it was a little bit smaller, a little more personable. It had a lot of family, kind of more like we were in the older days, more family, and got a little more personal touch. I know Allie was up there, so you got to experience a little bit more of a camaraderie as opposed to a concert.
Yeah, right.
We're going to do again, we'll be in September. We'll be out in Colorado. And then we've added a October event in Carson City, Nevada, which I don't know if a lot of you know what Carson City has, but Virginia City, the old mining town. It's got, of course, Lake Tahoe, the scenic part. You got the Rubicon. It's got a fabulous prison off-road park there. It's got Bodie City, if you want to go see the old historical ghost town. And the city is very excited to have something like this come between their ski season and their summer season and their ski season. So with the casinos, with what's there, the city is really excited. And you got a lot of your Bronco vendors right there with Wild Horses, Tom's Bronco Parts, a lot of your new Bronco 6G manufacturers are in California. So, we've been looking there for a long time, and it finally, all the numbers and all the park came available. So that will be a new one.
That's awesome. And then Nick wants to know too, is there an overland trip for Colorado Super Cel this year?
We are working on a few overland trips for Colorado, maybe the week before and the week after. Oh, cool. I know we had a couple clubs do them last couple years, and a lot of people or individuals are wanting to get involved, and we are coming out with more overlanding events. I don't know if you've seen our logo, but we're going to come out with what's called campfire cruises, which will be 1 and 2 night overlanding events. And we'll not only do them in Colorado, but we'll be doing them, Tennessee, different parts of the country. We're working hard on trying to organize that. Be limited groups of 20 and 25 people, a combination of dirt, scenic, destination drives for over 2 days, and then camping somewhere.
Oh, well, if you want to do one in Michigan, let me know.
Okay, we'll put you in charge.
Oh Lord, I don't know if you want that.
We're thinking February for that.
Put me and Jeff in charge. It'll be great.
Hey,
we're thinking February for Michigan.
One thing I learned about leading all these drives is nobody ever thought I was lost. Because, if you get lost, you just keep driving. Nobody's going to know it unless you tell them you're lost.
Yeah, just don't panic and you'll be totally fine.
Yeah. And head north or a direction, there's another road and you'll be fine.
I mean,
or don't do what they did at Windrock this weekend. So we're heading up to the trail to the Overlook, and the lady that works there at Windrock, Jessica, she was helping the group go through. And so Jessica is up front, and then all of a sudden the tail gunner in the back goes, "Don't make that turn. You're going the wrong way. Don't go that direction."
Yeah, that was funny. Josh is like, "Hey man, what you were trying to get me to go to a different channel because you were like, I don't know if we're going the right way or not."
I was about for me and you and your buddies from Michigan is to turn off this whole adventure because I was afraid it was about to go downhill real quick.
Yeah.
You're literally saying downhill.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one thing with Windrock, man. I wish they would fix those paved roads. Like they're just letting them erode away, and I'm like, it's starting to get a little scary over by Rattle Rock.
Yeah, the potholes are bigger than the vehicles.
Yeah, well, there's part of it we saw. So they have the ditch in between the road and the drop off, and the ditch looks like it's eroding. Like at some point, it's just going to slide away.
Yeah.
And
he put some big boulders there and spray painted them yellow, but the hole in between them is literally a Bronco length. You can fall in it.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And it keeps getting closer and closer to the center of the road.
Yeah. And they keep trying to bring those big old semi trailers up there with the bikes on them, and you're trying to pass at the same time.
The bike people.
It's Mark. So I'm going to answer Mark's question. I heard there's going to be a Gen 6 corral like Bronco Nation did last year. I think Tom can.
I thought you were going to answer that for me, Allie. Yeah.
I mean, I've heard that there's going to be one.
The Bronco Nation is, yes, we're working on a 6G corral with the Bronco Nation. And I don't know if a lot of you saw the Bronco Nation is going to have their base camp. I think it's all sold out, but they'll have, and that will not be within the facility. It's actually across the street by the river. But as you all know, if you've been to Townsand, you can walk anywhere within 5 minutes.
Best pizza beer place across the street. I love that place.
Yes.
The Social.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's got a good reputation. And have you been down to the Abbey?
No, because we like the pizza place so much. Every time we're in that area, we just stop there.
And it's not even really a pizza place. It's a brewery.
Yeah,
it's like a local.
And they put it's owned by the Dancing Bear. The guys that own the Dancing Bear, they actually also own the little shopping center.
And
the Dancing Bear got their name from Blackberry Farms. They kind of was fixing stuff for the Blackberry Farms, and then they ended up kind of splitting. But so they got a really good reputation for high end.
How has Townsand welcomed you guys in, or is there any kind of kind of contention with because you guys have I've seen this event in 3 years just almost doubles in size every year. I mean, they gotta love. I would think I was
blown away last year.
Yeah, that they love us. I mean, I think when you see the facility, what they've done to the visitor center, they've doubled the size of what it was last year. They're adding restrooms and a stage. We hope it's not going to impede our event this year, but the city's really grasped what we told them, and they've got about 4 or 5 new events now that have come in and are, they're trying to do a weigh-in again. How many events do we want so that the locals aren't mad, and how many events can we have that the business people are happy? So, there is motels, and a lot is there's a new whiskey place there the Claytons have put in. He's brewing it.
I'll tell you what, the Subway is always happy to see us.
Yeah.
The Subway.
Yeah.
Well, so there's the problem is, again, it's just such a small area. It's hard to get employees for some of these people. So, especially in these days and age.
Well, so what has the event grown this year? I mean, are you expecting? I don't care about numbers or anything, but I feel like I've watched that field just keeps doubling in size. I mean, can we expect a bigger?
You can expect a much bigger crowd. Last year it was about 30% 6Gs versus 70%. I'm going to categorize it Gen 1 through 5.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, Gen 2s last year, there was 80 something Gen 2s out there.
There were a lot of them.
You're right now the registration's running about 45% 6G, 55% 1 through 5. So you can see where it's growing, and as they roll 7,000 of these new Broncos off the the manufacturing line every month, I think you can only understand it's only going to keep getting bigger.
Well, I know we've talked to quite a few people that this is going to be their first event coming down, and like I would like to call it the Woodstock of Broncos is what I'd like to. Just keep your clothes on, though. Keep your clothes on.
That is what my mom has called it several times, because like she tries to explain to people like what we go down to, and she's like, it's Woodstock, but just Broncos. Like, kind of what it is.
It's like, have you ever been to the Blue Man Group? You had such a great time, and somebody, what did you? I can't explain what I just experienced, but it was just awesome, and
that's what I've had to tell like so many people, because my experience with Bronco really started with 6G. I didn't have a family member who owned a ton of the first gen, so I kind of missed out on that. But like when you try to explain to your customers of like how to get involved in this community, I'm like, you just need to go. You need to make the road trip. Like from Michigan to Tennessee, it's 9 to like 9.5 hours.
Hey, Michigan to Wisconsin. Michigan to Wisconsin, they can get on the ferry and be there in 3 hours.
Hey, that's what me and Jeff did last year, and it was awesome. So you take the 4-hour ferry ride over, and then you just have to drive 3 hours to the Dells. It's fine. I slept the whole way there, so it's fantastic. But that's the thing.
It's funny, of all the time I lived in Michigan, I never actually took the ferry over to Wisconsin.
I never did either. So like I didn't even know this was a thing until Jeff Trapp, who owns Bronco Graveyard, and he's like, well, you're taking the ferry over, right? I'm like, huh? He's like, the ferry.
Did you take the ferry or the fast ferry? Sounds like you came in Milwaukee instead of taking the seat.
No, yeah, I took the Badger over.
Okay.
So it was definitely something I'm looking forward to again this year. But that's the thing, like I've told everybody, I've tried like preaching this event, because like you can't really explain it. You just have to go. It's just so fun, like meeting everybody.
So you can say Bucky has walked on water.
Yes, I can say Bucky has walked on water.
Yeah,
driven on water?
Jesus, the Broncos over there.
Basically.
Sorry, I'm just coming in for the punchlines.
Okay. So Tom, how is you were talking earlier about Aftermarket being kind of out west. It's probably been a little bit of a struggle at first getting those guys to come out here, because all the big companies are kind of California, Nevada area. Like, have they shown a ton of interest of like, hey, we're coming because you guys bring it?
I've had Oregon and California companies coming for the last 8 years.
Nice.
Nice.
Back then we were the only game in town, so it was kind of. And the crazy thing is, Dave, is they offer free delivery. So
yes,
last year, I don't know if you saw Tom's. He pulls in with 2 18-wheelers full of parts because some of this stuff's getting expensive to ship, especially some
Yeah.
of the bigger items. And, it kind of gave them an excuse to get out of the great Northwest and come down here. And
Wild Horses, they had a big
Yeah,
truck
Wild
to brought.
Horses had a huge setup too.
Yeah, hey, listen, Wild Horses literally, year before last, the trailer like fell apart on the way over. Had to get a new truck and trailer, and he still unloaded it, reloaded it, and came back over and dropped off all of his parts. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Wild Horses actually did free delivery to Wisconsin. They brought a big trailer load up there, and had some people from Canada coming down to get their stuff. So you didn't have to worry about all those custom forms.
Yeah, nothing like trying to ship a metal bumper or something to Canada because you like triple the price of the thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, so are you expecting any bigger names coming in? I mean, are some of the majors? Because I know I'm going to say this, and this isn't Jeep, but we've been to Jeep Invasion, and those guys they have BF Goodrich. There's some big tire companies and stuff. Have you guys been hit up by? Because you guys are on the map. It's not like if they're missing out on you guys, they're silly.
Yeah, and I don't know. I've got a lot of new 6G companies that are coming, and I think it's still too early in the game to see who is whether it's Deviate or Elevate, who's going to be in the control of that market.
Yeah,
I know they're all Jeep companies jumping into the Bronco category, so a lot of these old Bronco companies are getting in. Jeff's Bronco Graveyard, for example, right up there in Alley's neighborhood, he's getting into some of the the new 6G products. So again,
so I got him hooked up with IAG to start doing their steps and stuff.
Yeah, and
slowly but surely we're getting them in there.
Funny, we'll give IAG a plug because last year that was their first year out, and come Friday, we have a big 18-wheel. The big gray UPS truck, and I got to deliver all these products to some booth. They were installing and sold out of all their products installing it, that they had a big shipment come in on Friday.
That's funny.
I have to give it to them. They had a great booth and display last year. Yeah. They were smart enough to be like, we're not just here to show things, we're going to put it on your vehicle.
Yeah, they did that in Wisconsin too, which was and so does Texas. The Josh's buddy at Bronco Buster, Tyler.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was installing stuff and selling stuff both in Tennessee, Colorado, and Wisconsin.
And I gotta say too, I honestly think that's really cool because then you get to know the people that help run the company, and you just get a little bit more behind the scenes and realize how much they truly care about not only the customer experience, but they want to make sure it fits on your Bronco. So that's really cool too.
Yeah, see, we got about 70 vendors already signed up. So
wow.
I got a lot that advertised in my magazine, and we try not to point them out. You're asking me who's going to be the big vendor. Yeah. So, I mean, they're, in my eyes, big, small, they're all important.
Oh, 100%.
Well, what a plus for you having your magazine that it brings in more attention to your event. Plus, it's just a double whammy for hey, sponsors, come on, we're not just 1 or 2 times a year.
Yeah, I mean that, and back over the last 20 years, we're the only ones carrying the Bronco flag, whether it was our events or our magazine, or slowly getting into the social media scene.
Hey, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I know. You don't follow us, dang it.
Wow, Dave.
I'm not on social media yet, so I don't follow anybody.
Donna. Where's
I delegate that.
So anything going to be different this year, the way you do check-in or anything? Because I do remember it was right up front. I remember you pulled in, and
it'll be a lot different. It'll be farther back, so we don't jam up the road. We're learning with the new facility, and like I say, when you see what they've done to the facility, they put in a lot of fences, a lot of gates. They've really upgraded the facility, which helps our the in and out was kind of hard with the upfront area. We learn everything.
Sure.
It's trial and error. Especially when they're getting bigger every single year.
And when the venue keeps changing, that when they keep making fences and as soon as you think you got it nailed down, they'll throw, the first year we had it there, they didn't even have a fence up front. I had to go get 2 days before the event, put a whole fence up front so cars wouldn't be driving in and Broncos wouldn't be driving in and out.
All those wild kids.
Well, I will say last year, you guys, it was very seamless. We drove in, we checked in with you guys at the front booth there. And then I don't know if it was your son or somebody, I feel like it was you told, hey, go set them up. Cause we were like, hey, we want to be next to Bronco Battalion USA. And it was like 0 problems. Just go do it. And,
my son does most of the vendor setups. And
all right. So we know who to give the 20 to this time.
Yeah.
Wow.
He'll have you give him 20, man. He'll have you right down there on the stage.
Nice.
Oh man, you got to pay him back for last year and for this year.
I'll throw 40 there.
40, there you go.
If a vendor is interested, obviously we interview a lot of vendors and stuff. If they're interested, what do they need to do to be a part of this?
Best thing is for them to email me, tom@broncodriver.com. We'll send them out a big form, a sheet that tells them all the details, information. We always require talking to vendors because we got to figure out what size, if they fit into our 2 standard sizes, or if they're going to surprisingly pull up in an 18-wheeler.
Oh, that sounds like that's happened.
Oh, it has.
Once or twice.
Yeah. And Josh probably can remember we had 3 Super Duties trying to pull that 18-wheeler out when he tried to off-road around the dirt ditch.
Yep.
Oh, no.
We won't name. Hey, this vendor we won't give a plug to.
No, not at all.
Damn it! Now I kind of just want to know who it was, but we'll save that. We'll save that one for later.
So we actually have a question from Bird Dog. Will clubs be able to drop off their pop-up tents Tuesday afternoon?
Absolutely. If they're pre-registered, anybody can come Tuesday at 8:00. Pre-registrations get priority treatment. Vendors will be starting. We actually start setting up vendors the Friday before, but
dang,
by Tuesday morning we'll be ready for those pre-registrations to come in, and it became everybody wanted to be on the front row so they could put their parts up closer. So it's kind of a perk to pre-register. You could get in Tuesday.
Good to know.
We were in a primo spot last year, so we had Max Rider there. We were next to Bronco Battalion. We had Bronc Buster behind us.
Gordon Bailey.
And then the 6G Corral wasn't far.
Yeah, that was right across.
Yeah.
And so that's again hoping you got some good content. People walking by, interviews, businesses that were close to you. Get them to support your all-terrain nation.
Well, we do okay with that, but it's more about just coming and supporting you guys. We've grown as people who have done events, obviously never to your magnitude. We know what it takes, and we know it's not just a few weeks before the event you start planning these things. No. We would shut ours down for the end of the year or at the end of the event, and then it's like, oh, now time to start planning the next one.
We would sleep for a couple of days, then we go, okay, now it's time. Got to get started again.
We lucky we've had 20 years to practice, because now we get 48 hours and we have to have the next event posted with the whole.
Wow, man, you sound like a glutton for punishment though, because if you're adding a 4th one, where's next? Hawaii?
Don't give him any ideas.
Yeah, Dad was like, no.
She knows where we've been scouting a lot, but we don't want to say.
Sure.
No, we get it. Don't say it.
Puerto Rico, we get it. We get it.
No, but it may start with an N and have a 2-letter word with the second word starting with an H.
Nigeria.
There you go. For you quiz people, where would that be?
Oh man.
Walter goes Vegas, Utah. No.
No, it'd be closer to Allie. It'd be closer to Allie than that.
That'd be New Hawaii.
There you go.
I love New Hawaii.
See, we knew it.
There you go. Technical disasters. You got it.
I just got to get that accent down before we go there.
Got to have some Sam Adams.
That's what you did for Wisconsin, right? You got to go, oh, yeah, there. Hell, yeah.
Yeah. you had to learn how to eat some cheese and drink some beer.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
Sure.
Oh my lord.
Oh yeah.
What's that jellyfish they eat? The fermented fish?
Oh,
What? No.
Yeah,
if you hadn't asked me, I would know.
lutefish or something like that.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
Lutefish.
The
Ew.
thing, we can probably throw Allie under the bus on this one because, you ask these northern people, hey, you want to go have a beer? And they go, no. And you're like, they're saying, you want to go have a beer? No. Do you want to go to the mall? No. It's like they're waiting for your response. I'm going, well, I want to answer yes, but you keep saying no.
A.
Good.
Hey, we don't say no.
Yeah,
Above the bridge, you say A.
I do hear some boots. She will get a little Canadian in her every once in a while. I'm like, what a boot? What the hell is that?
Sydney actually made fun of me this weekend because she said, "Mom, where did your Michigan come from?" Like,
Michigan?
I've
It's
lived here
because
for 20
it's
years.
because you've been talking to me. You came up to Michigan. It's all good.
Well, you want some really full disclosure?
Yes.
I spent my first 15 years of life in Wisconsin, so I know what a bubbler is, and I know, don't you know?
There you go. There you
Here we
go.
go.
Oh yeah, you got Marjorie up there.
Yeah.
They just all talk all the time, and we go to the
Lincoln
local
Town.
church, and we just have good time.
And then you do the Minnesotan goodbye or the Michigan goodbye or the
Michigan
Wisconsin
goodbye.
goodbye.
It's the Midwest goodbye.
Yeah, you just stand there at the door and talk for another 45 minutes before you walk 2 more steps and then maybe another 30 minutes.
Sounds taxing.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny is the people that here, we have the Virginia guys come to our event, and people stand around and we have to translate. What did he just say? What did they just say? Like, you don't understand.
We here in Murfreesboro, we will have what's called Uncle Dave Macon Days. And it's a big Bluegrass Festival, but the people come out of, they're like cockroaches. You're like, I don't understand a word. You're like, it's so backwood people, but they brings in they're amazing musicians, but you're just like, I don't know what they're saying, but they play a mean guitar. Keep doing it.
See, everyone's getting it right in the chat. It is pop. It is Faygo. Good job, guys.
Yes.
Not soda.
But I will say, since I've lived in Michigan or lived in Tennessee, it's whatever it is, because I got myself in. Of course, I moved to Tennessee and was waiting tables when I started here. So, of course, I was very cognizant about what I called it because I didn't want to slip up, because I'd heard other people say that their tips got thrown in the trash pretty much from the customer if you sounded like you were from anywhere else. So I was very careful. And then one day I said, I'll be right back with some more pop. And I turned around and they looked at me and they said, did you just say, nope, Sprite. I'll be right back with Sprite.
So Laura, the only way I can hear this is, oh yeah, gosh, yes, Kelly, hey. Well, you got to throw a little Canadian in there.
So 502 Bourbon Crew said,
hold on, Allie was saying something.
Go ahead.
502 Bourbon Crew said Kentucky people introduce themselves by what county they're from and which cousin they married.
Well, there went our Kentucky audience real quick.
He's in Kentucky, so it's okay.
I know.
We get away with it.
No.
Okay.
And I'm wearing
That
the
was just really funny.
Oh, you see what I'm wearing?
Yes, and Verner's too.
Guys, Ranger Raptor, number 1. Drink up.
Can
So
I
Tom,
do Bronco before we do Rangers?
I'm just hyper about it, Allie.
No.
So Tom, the event is what, 4 days?
Yeah, the actual event is 4 days. The setup makes it a 5th day. So
he says I'm there for 5, 6,
I'll
7,
see you
8,
on
9.
We're there for 10.
I'm actually there for 10.
Donna.
I heard her.
So what give us something crazy that's happened at this event. What I mean, there had to be some within PG ratings, but does there things happen at these things and you're just like, what are they? What? This is just an event, man.
Well, what's funny is after the event's over, we'll see videos and I don't even remember that. I didn't even see that because you as you know, it's like a circus especially with the drives. I've had 3 drives that have had trees fall in the middle of the drive.
Oh no.
Literally. And it's nice that the Broncos, before they get their chainsaws out, they want to take their Broncos and climb over the trees.
Facts.
Yeah, see who can make sure that they can have fun on it.
I mean, they don't call it goat mode for nothing,
right?
Yeah. So that's been kind of that was kind of a crazy thing. But I mean, we can tell stories where if you get into, I could write a book on campfire stories.
We could do those.
When we had at the tally ho, when everybody pile around the campfire at night. I got up about 3:00 one morning. I thought I was asking everybody why didn't the rapture took place, because their cars, the Broncos were still out there, the music was going, their purses were there was nobody there. And we had what was called the vampires at the time got a hold of them. Those were the people in Kentucky that
sorry Kentucky.
They made the actual real moonshine, and they hung out all night. And if they got their bite into you, it was over. You were
and somehow this channel lost all of their Kentucky subscribers.
Well, they're already telling Kentucky jokes in there.
I know.
I know. The jokes are hilarious.
I guess we're picking on Kentucky. As a Tennessee alumni, that I often do with the sporting.
That's okay.
Hey, our Kentucky Bronco groups are some
they're Kentucky crazy guys.
Crazy fun guys.
I have to so kind of talking about the clubs, man. I have to say I'm amazed of how big some of these clubs are. Like the Georgia Bronco Club, they take a massive amount of your space.
Yeah, they are. They have done a great job. I actually had lunch with the president of the Georgia Bronco Club on Sunday, and they are doing a lot with charity, with building this Paw Brown build that they're doing for a cause. But they've really got aggressive, and Atlanta's a big place, Georgia's a big place, and a lot of the Broncos from Generation 1 were well preserved in Alabama and Georgia because not quite on the salt and kind of in good. So we've always had a lot of people from Georgia and Alabama, but they've done a good job of organizing themselves. And as we all see, the 6Gs kind of kicked everybody into a new level of camaraderie and interest and, numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So Tom, what are some, for the people attending maybe the first time, what are some do's and don'ts of the event? Are animals welcome?
Yeah, animals are welcome as long as you keep them on a leash or you clean
I'm
up.
okay then, Kelly. I'm okay.
Keep him on a leash.
Kelly, you just have to clean up after him. That's the main thing.
Oh, somebody else take the leash. Allie, tag, you're it.
Nope.
The thing I tell newbies is to find somebody in your area. And now with all these clubs, there'll be a lot. You find somebody that's been there, and they can kind of really guide you. It is kind of coming in with your truck and trailer and parking it. Once you get the hang of the layout and you find a friend, I mean, it's all downhill from there.
Yeah. So Bronco 6G guys, I know there's a ton of new people that are coming for the first time. Obviously, you said the registration seemed to be starting to balance 50-50 almost. Is there do they have their own special parking to let people know how this works?
Well, this year I've got 18 clubs that have requested special parking spots. So there'll be 18 clubs. I think Allie's got one.
I think we have 35 Broncos coming.
Yeah, so you'll have all these clubs with different, and the Bronco Nation will have a 6G corral. So they'll have a lot of their, Bronco Nation members. And even if the 6G guys are just coming, they'll want to hang out there and meet, there's a couple things this year that are exciting. There'll be a under 30 drive. So you have to be under 30 years old to take a drive on Friday afternoon, sponsored by
Oh, man.
Dave, you just missed
31.
it.
And Josh can
I'm 29 now.
We need photo ID, Allie. Sorry.
Also, I know a lot of your listeners are wanting to understand. We're going to have a Thursday, as they saw. We're going to do an off-roading event up at Windrock. However, we've got a couple different alternatives because the turnout seems to be pretty high. we've rented a whole nother off-road park that's a little closer. And
Nice.
Josh might speak to this if he's been to Bays Mountain. It's a little less extreme. It's a little bit, it gives them a thrill, but not the extreme off-roading. So we'll have that as an option for Thursday as well. We'll have, morning drives out there, afternoon drives out there. And it's kind of it's a nice little off-road park that's self-guided. It can get challenging. If it rains, there'll probably be a rain date because he doesn't like to tear up his park on rain. And we're working on a third alternative. So they'll be able to choose kind of what level and what kind of extreme they want to start out at. You mentioned a lot of these people might be newbies. And that way they don't get thrown in with Josh on, Rattle Rock on the first day out.
I tried to get him to go to Rattle Rock and he told me no. He was saving that Bronco for this trip.
No, he had to work. Remember, he had to work.
I went back home and, did a bunch of other meetings and emails and all sorts of fun stuff. But yeah, so Bays Mountain's really nice. It's a bunch real easy trails, but they're a bunch of off-camber situations. Not as much rock as Windrock is, so won't beat your Broncos to death. Even up at Windrock, we're going to go, to we're not going to beat them up. Everybody seems to, they're daily drivers for most of us. So we're going to be able to drive back home.
That's what Josh is trying to say. Just go with the group, just mellow. There's nothing to prove.
Yeah.
Walter says, good point. In Vegas, no one under 30 can afford a Bronco. So,
Walter.
Hey, I've had a couple purchase one, and they've been saving for a while. So,
yeah.
Well, hey, Walter, you gonna sign your Bronco Driver Magazine for me?
Ooh, that's right. Walter was on the cover.
Hey, wait, I can show you the cover here.
Oh, Walter's gonna get a name here.
Nice.
Can you see it there?
Yeah,
I do. Yeah,
well,
he's got all kinds of good parts on that.
Walter's on the cover of the new, and this is, we've been doing this. That's issue number 91. So that tells you how old I am. But that
you don't look a day under 90.
Wow.
But that we just redesigned the whole cover. The whole magazine was redesigned between issue 90 and 91. So we're going to, it actually mailed last week. We're going to get a lot of feedback, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. But we're trying to take it to the next level for the look and modernization for the younger generation, as well as I'm getting old. I couldn't read some of the small print in my old issue. Lucky I wrote it, so I had it memorized.
So you knew what you said?
Yeah.
Hey, I have to go back and watch some of these sometimes because I don't remember what I said.
True story.
Kelly will she'll get in my ass about something. And I'm like, I don't know what I said.
Well, and it's funny when we replay it, I'll be watching it and go, "Ooh, I should have said this here," and then I go say it. I'm like, oh, I guess I know myself.
Tell your own jokes.
You know that it's not scripted.
Right.
Well, it is. They don't realize this whole comedy section is all scripted. Allie, I'm going to need your notes a little quicker this time before the show starts.
Got it.
Bring me your script a little earlier.
But Allie, I thought you were going to be part. There's going to be a ladies only drive up in Windrock. Is I guess Lori, Patty, and Allie, and a couple of the Buckle Up Buttercup or something. We're going to lead a ladies only drive up there.
Yeah, I had one phone call on it, and then I haven't heard anything else. So
we did that in Colorado. We did a ladies only drive, and it got crazier and crazier because it became ladies could only drive. It was a nice little off-road area we had close by, and the guys could not ride with them. And I'm going, are you all crazy? So we had 10 girls sign up, then 20 girls. Then we ended up 30 sign up for this thing. And so then the guys decided they're going to take lunch halfway through the trail and meet them out there and serve them all lunch. And it became a pretty fun little sidekick on the event.
Nice. Yeah, we did a ladies run because, for one, as a guy, if I can get her into off-roading, it opens up the wallet for things.
Yep.
But
you
now
see where we are now.
Now she stole my Bronco, and I'm a charity case here with this shirt, hoping to get my own vehicle. So that's really why this shirt's around, is hoping to get my own off-road vehicle.
Well, everything's done is that way. I get a bigger budget and can have more fun.
That's right.
there you go.
Donna, you didn't hear that.
Donna's well aware.
She knows it.
Yeah, Donna's well aware.
Yeah.
It is in my name, and I build them.
And you know, she's a heavy foot led driver.
Ooh, I knew
Josh,
I like Donna.
her and Josh could keep up with each other. You know, I've had to put more U joints and drive shafts in without my driving. It was getting to a point. It was getting crazy.
Well, I'm the reason why we got rid of a stick shift vehicle. So, just saying.
Yeah, Kelly kills clutches. So
I
can't have manual transmission vehicles anymore.
No. I like to ride the clutch too much.
She refuses to actually learn how to drive one.
It's not that I refuse to learn how to drive one. I just the way I learned was
it's the mechanic that put in the cheap clutch.
That's
not
it.
Your driving.
That's it. It's not my driving. It's the
Walter's saying there's a special course drive with Josh.
How special?
For Walter, it's special. You see why he chose Cyber Orange. It's special.
That's right. So guys, here is their website, broncodriver.com. You can find Super Cel East over here.
And we've gone over this a couple of times, so this is not new to you that are returning watching tonight.
But we'll probably go over it 4 more times.
Probably so.
April 19th
I'm going to keep posting it on my story.
There you go.
And we only keep bringing this up because we have, as people who've done events, we had a great time.
Yes.
It's a very family community. We've no problems with anybody. Everybody's been super friendly. So we will continue to keep coming back.
And you all know we don't promote those things that we don't support ourselves.
Yes.
So.
I mean, I'll even give you my example. Like I had met Josh on, I think, Instagram, or maybe it was Facebook. But I was so on the fence of going because, like, I didn't know anybody and I didn't want to be, like, the oddball out. But, like, you meet so many people within, like, the first couple of hours. And all of the people I met down in Tennessee, I am now making plans to see again. Like, like Tom said, it's truly one big family reunion, honestly.
Yeah.
Except it only took Allie how many visits or how many events for us to be at before we actually met each other?
I think 3. Everything's fine.
But so on the website there, as you can see, it has everything what you need to do, how to register. When does register close, Tom?
We close it the Monday of the event, the online registrations, but we take registrations at the event.
So if you're in in Gatlinburg area, just so happens that the family vacation happens to be at the same time.
If you're driving your Bronco, you can come on over and register your Bronco. But we'll get a lot of people. You know what people don't realize is the walk up has become tremendous. People are it's a vacation area, so people are in town and they want to come over and see all these Broncos.
Yeah,
and you get guys that are working on Broncos. The vendors make more money off the people like you have your Bronco. You're enjoying your Bronco. You'll add an item here or there, but it's the guy that hasn't got his Bronco yet, or he's working on his Bronco and he needs a whole boatload of parts to finish his project. And he's coming out there to see what people are doing so he can buy that product and buy that product,
That's we've been telling people, even if they don't have their Broncos, and they're still waiting on a Bronco to show up, like it's a great place to get ideas for what you might want to do. Sometimes seeing these things
and ride-alongs. We set up
ride-alongs,
so people that have one on order might ride with Josh. Then they'll cancel their they get to see what it can do.
Well, definitely,
but it's a great place to do that.
Some bash plates.
Josh has got to build a Bronco before he can show up, though.
All coming together.
I could tell this weekend.
3 weeks, 4 weeks.
You
talked 4 weeks.
Yeah, you talked about it being a family event, and that's it's kind of always become like a reunion. But this year, another interesting thing, Dave, is the Two Gin Kin Club on Thursday night's kind of their festive night, and this year they're going to do a mini Bronco extravaganza from. Bringing your die cast that looks like your Bronco, your Mangler, your kid's 6G, your 12 volts. They now have the new 6G 12 volt and the old 6 volt. But any small Bronco, they're going to have, awards, show and shine, and kind of do a whole mini extravaganza night on Thursday night at the 6G. Again, the two gin can. Yeah, that's the 1978, 1979 Bronco Club.
That's what I was laughing at.
Yeah.
Bird Dog's comment.
Get the new Ford Pass Visa card.
Go ahead and apply for that credit card now, so you'll be ready.
Yeah, like Josh just said, Ford Pass Visa, get Ford Pass points. Fantastic.
That's right. And Tom, this is how important it is. This is in our studio. Only 28 days left till the event, and this stays in the background because that's how much Super Cel we're excited about Super Cel.
Well, I'm glad. I'm excited too.
I mean, to be honest, I think after you announced when Super Cel was last year, I think that's when I booked my cabin for this year.
And you the scary thing is you almost have to. The way it sells out fast.
Or you get in the creepy 70s when we had last year. The Airbnb was a little creepy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, Allie, we were talking to Allie, I think in September or something. You were like, "Did you guys book your cabin yet?" We were like, "No." She's like, "You really need to." And we're like, "Okay." And then she asked a month later, "Did you guys book your cabin yet?" We were like, "No." She's like, "You probably need to." So it's a good thing we did because there was literally only one cabin left, and I think we booked in October or November.
Yeah. Where did you book?
It's 5 minutes from the venue.
Is it an Airbnb?
Yeah, it's it's Thunder Ridge cabins or something.
Yeah.
So
great. So, now they are looking for us.
Cove office that's right there has an Airbnb above it now, and it just got rented out by one of the Bronco guys because they just posted it last week. But it's all Jeep stuff on the inside. He goes, "I'll rearrange some of the artwork for the week."
We gotta add our own in here.
See what gets changed. See what they notice has changed.
Yeah,
right.
They'll have all Bronco posters instead.
Is it right there at the Cades Cove Jeep?
Yeah, it's right. It's literally above. It's there's an apartment above the warehouse.
I know. Yeah, it's right there at the intersection.
Yeah.
Well, man, talk about prime location.
Right. We need a Bronco store there. We need one of those like that Jeep place there on the corner. We need a Bronco place there.
Yeah.
Now.
Well,
I told him he needs to hang a Bronco flag out the window the whole week he's there.
Well, what's funny is every time we drove up because our 70s terrible Airbnb was off of Wares Valley Road. Every time we would drive past that rent a Jeep location, we're like, man, they need to have a rent a Bronco location right across the street and see which one.
I think they have a few Broncos now.
Which one rents the most?
It'd be the Bronco. Yeah, there's a couple places in Gatlinburg now that are renting Broncos.
Yeah,
but they're not cheap.
Oh, I'm sure.
Well, no, I don't want to rent anything in this economy. So Tom, what is the registration cost? What do they get with that registration?
The registration for Tennessee this year is $80, and with that, they're going to get access in and out of the venue. They're going to get a $10 food voucher for the food trucks. They're going to get a T-shirt voucher to choose at the event stand. They're going to get raffle tickets for Saturday's raffle. They're going to get truck and trailer parking if needed on the site. They're going to get to be included in the drives. And also, if they want to participate in the show and shine and be judged, that they can get their Bronco set up and be judged during the judging times.
Oh, that means I got to bring my tube doors again.
No, tube doors.
That's the only reason why I won in Wisconsin.
See the six Gs we've asked in this year that they at least have 3 modifications, because if they don't, it's just too hard to judge with all the stock.
So is that part of the ladies' run? They'll wreck them. Is that what you're saying?
Dave,
rude.
Sorry. Yeah, no, she's a better driver than me.
All right, so now you're getting 3 Michigan stickers on your Bronco.
Hey, wait. Not on the soft top, okay? That's
no, not on the soft top. Don't worry about that.
Sweet. Cool. That's all I asked.
So you'll go to
better.
Kroger and back into something. That's one modification.
I have not backed into anything. Thank you very much. Wow.
Hey, she didn't get stuck at Windrock.
Thank you.
That is true, but she did get stuck in Michigan.
All right. Well, Dave is sleeping on the couch tonight, guys.
In the sand, and then when I put it in sand mode, I got out of it. So
I did take her to the end of 15 though, and it was sand. It's a little sandy up there. And I said, "Hey, you didn't get stuck up here. I'm proud of you." So.
Tim said in the comments, "I'm following Dave home every night. Party at Dave's cabin."
Hey, it wouldn't be the first time. Well, Tom, we appreciate you being on here. I don't want to keep you much longer. Thank you for doing this event. Thank you for keeping the Bronco live here in kind of the Tennessee area. I think you're doing incredible work.
Yeah, I gotta say thank you and Donna and your whole family for everything that you guys do.
Yeah, we have fun doing it. We appreciate people like you that come out, and without people like you coming in and enjoying it, it wouldn't be an event. All we do is set the date and open the gate, and you all are the event. So we appreciate your kind words and coming down.
So guys, go get your subscription for one to Bronco Driver Magazine.
Oh yeah.
So go ahead and do that right away. I have a feeling you'll see more Bronco 6G stuff in there down the road.
Yeah, and you'll get to see Walter's on the cover.
That's right. And if you want an autographed version, Walter is in Vegas. He will definitely do that for you.
Mail it to Walter. He'll sign it. He'll send it back.
Just go to the Super Cel in Vegas.
It's not in Vegas. It's in
Carson City. It's close enough for Walter to come drive and sign autographs.
Yeah, well,
hey, that's a distance. Walter is not. You got to come to him. It's Vegas, baby.
We'll get him a table.
Elvis didn't go to you. You came to Elvis. So, but anyways, Tom, we appreciate you being on here. There's sadly, I would have prepped you if Kelly was here before. There's no easy way to say goodbye.
I was going to you and say, "Hey, prep Tom," but
y'all can kick me out. Y'all can kick me out. I don't care.
But we will see you. We'll definitely see you and your crew in a few weeks, and can't wait. And no rain.
All right. Well, you make sure Allie brings down that nice Detroit weather.
I mean, it's 30 here today, so I don't know about that.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for having me on. Thanks for all the good words.
All right, bye, Tom.
We'll see you in 28 days, right?
Yes,
that's
sir.
Right.
Okay. Take care.
Bye, Dada.
Can't wait.
Well, there you go, guys. That was the man, the myth that is known as Bronco Driver / Super Cel, and we greatly appreciate him coming on. It clearly he's a fun person, so that's the kind of event they're put on. It's just a fun event. I know it sounds like we're hyping this. I don't get paid anything to do this. I just love this event, and there's good people there. So I want my friends here to experience all that. So definitely go over there. At least check out their website. If you can talk your spouse or whoever into it, do it. I'm telling you, at least for one day. Friday or Saturday, I would recommend. Saturday, some of the vendors are closing down around 2 or so, I imagine. Yeah. But I think it's a good time. And especially, we've talked about it before, Josh, if they don't have they don't have their Bronco, it's coming. This is the best place to see new parts.
Yeah. So, we were talking to some of the guys that came down that just had got their Broncos, haven't done any modifications. They were like, "Hey, I want some of these like HD modular bumpers." I said, "Dude, come. People have swapped them already. They'll be selling them up at the swap meet. I guarantee you get them cheaper than you got from the OEM website." But yeah, it's a great place just to pick up some extra parts, some lights, some rock rails. What he didn't tell you is his son runs a modification. Like he'll build rock rails, doors, whatever you want. He's a great fabricator, and he's got bumpers and stuff there that he'll sell for the Bronco 6Gs. Plus, he's got some new rock rails and some other stuff that he's working on. So there's a bunch of people to come look and buy some product from.
Oh, so Joe, why can't you guys get guests like from Ford, like the guys who are Bronco Nation? You know the answer to that. I can reach out to some of those people. I just have chosen not to be honest. So there you go. Yeah. And plus, you guys have to play nice, and you don't want to play nice in Peugeot. You guys,
in Peugeot, who do you want?
I was like, they already were like picking apart Bronco Nation tonight.
Well, that's a place that if you like drama, you go over to Bronco Nation. Oh, I'm kidding, Jordan. I'm kidding. Don't think your comment didn't get back to me though. I heard about the comment, and
I think he was in here a little bit ago.
You changed the tire, Jordan. I'm still not sold that you actually changed the tire.
Wow,
Jordan can do it. I got faith in him.
Yeah. But yeah,
don't worry, Jordan. I have faith that you changed the tire.
Yes.
Same.
I don't even think you were in Iceland. I think that was a green screen.
Are you going to call it the moon landing?
Oh my gosh, I can't even with you tonight. You're lucky.
You're going to call it the green screen moon landing again?
That's right.
That's
come on. We know.
Damn, you even changed tires.
Thank you to Car Spotter's Guide for that 1503 for the travel fund.
That's right. You guys know I like those crazy numbers. And we might as well do it real quick. We have supporting memberships, whether you want to hear this or not. It's still a free show no matter what we do. But there's two versions, a $5 and a $9.99 version, $10. You get the same thing with either one of them. It just depends on how much you want to support us. And it does help us get to press events, stuff like that. So we appreciate that. The super chats are always, we appreciate that. But we just appreciate you guys smashing that like button. So guys like YouTube Car Spotters Guide, who is always a big supporter, we greatly appreciate your help and support. And he sent some cool, I don't know if I showed Allie and them.
Yes, you did. You showed it last week.
Did I show these last week? The
Oh,
all-terrain
Yeah.
Nation and the little Gen 1. I appreciate that, man. There's a Jeep up there, but we're not going to talk about the Jeep.
I've got a Star Wars Bronco. I'll add to your collection here at Super Cel.
Ooh, may the force be with you.
M. Peugeot says, tosses grenade and casually walks away.
But like Josh said, who do you guys want on there? I reach out to people I find interesting. And it may not, just because I find them interesting, they may not be a big presence anywhere. It's just some of these people I find interesting and want to talk to. So what was that last comment?
Dave, do you even change tires?
Yeah, I've changed many tires. Yes.
You didn't change the one when there was a slow leak in my truck when you got metal in the tire.
Well, because I was hauling ass to discount tires because I knew I was gonna have to get another tire.
Mm-hmm.
What a magic, just ta-da, Alakazam, and
it's
no
called a jack, and it's called change your tire.
Okay, smarty pants. Y'all want to see a tire changing competition at Super Cel?
Yes.
See who can do it faster.
God.
Oh, I know I'll be slow. Doesn't mean I won't do it right.
Ooh.
How wrong can you be at changing? Well, we'll
You
get
can
Jordan
be.
back on here and we'll figure out how wrong you can be at changing a tire. I'm kidding, Jordan. They're just
Gosh.
jokes. Bronco Nation, we are like this now. We're good. Till now. So Josh, we went to Windrock.
Gosh, I can't even.
Allie's gonna be like, I can't associate.
I haven't
myself
had a
with
drop of alcohol. Can you tell?
this. Josh, what was your takeaway from your Everglades, man? The limited edition that I think it will be. How did it perform at Windrock?
Oh yes, limited edition. It may be. Yes, it did really well. Gonna work on getting the rest of the stuff put together. Got some rock rails coming, lights, lift, tires. So hopefully by 28 days we'll be up and running. All that stuff should show up this week, and we'll just drop it in the garage and get to it. But did well,
It's good. I will say that's a good color on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it turned out really well. The carbonized gray is a really nice color. What you guys didn't see is when we come up before, the oil pump was over there on the right-hand side of that trail. So me and Little Man cut down that straightaway, and they were a bunch of water holes and stuff to go through. And that's where it got super muddy at. And then I made him wash it because he wanted to go down the mud hole trail. But we had a lot of fun.
Well, with the 4-cylinder net, you don't have to worry about those mud holes like we do in the 2.7s.
Nope.
Damn
No.
it.
Awkward.
So Valley Dude 5000 said, Allie, so is Dave moving down the list of the Raptor based on his comments?
Damn.
Well,
Guys, I will shut the comments off real quick.
Awkward.
turn him back on.
But
Awkward.
I have to bring this up because of my kind of funny comment.
Dave wants 37.
Oh,
Can
snap.
he even lift the 37?
Damn. You know what would have been
I like
funnier?
this
Been like,
crowd
is Dave
tonight.
tall enough?
Yeah, is Dave tall enough to lift a 37?
Yeah. Come on.
It's a real
The
question.
original. As you can see, we did fine in the mud.
Yeah.
We do. Well, you
Well,
did.
I did.
So
We did
what you
good.
guys don't
Slow and
realize
steady
is
wins the race.
Kelly. So I drove us there the whole 2.5 hours. I was tired, worn out, and then Miss Glory Hog over here. She's like, "Hey, get out of the truck. You take all the photos."
No.
Oh, you kicked me right out.
No, you actually said, here, this is a good spot. Go ahead and change places with me.
That does not sound like me at all.
Yeah,
It
Dave
doesn't
walked
sound like you
3.5
at all, but it
miles.
was.
But this is Trail 4 out there we're talking about tonight. A lot of fun out there, man. I was very surprised. I remember doing that trail, and there used to be a log at the end of it. It was kind of boring. There was a big hole there, and none of that, but just a lot of stuff like this, a little bit of rock.
Yeah, I
climbing.
didn't remember. I remember high centering on the log, but I don't in my Xterra, but I don't remember this
because
trail at all.
4 used to lead into 20 a little bit or something like that.
Correct.
Didn't it, Josh?
Yep.
Yeah, and 20 had a landslide a few years ago, and they shut it down. I don't know if it's open again or not, but
it's open.
Oh, cool. But guys, if you ever want to experience some fun in your Bronco, man, Windrock Park, I'm telling you, don't go out there by yourself if you're new to wheeling, but definitely go out there and have some fun. We kept sending pictures like this to Allie just because I knew she was having FOMO because this week the Bronco Nation, speaking of those guys, they had their event in Austin, Texas. Looks like that was a big success for those guys. And so yeah, you got to rub it in a little bit and be like, look, Allie, we're having fun. What are you? Oh, you're selling cars.
Oh, I was sitting at my desk watching all the Bronco Nation posts, and then they were blowing my phone up. I'm like, yeah, this weekend sucks.
Right. But I'm trying to, damn it.
Wrong vehicle.
I know, wrong way. Going the wrong way. The Raptor, Josh, I was impressed with the Raptor that we saw out there.
Yeah, so that hot pepper red Raptor was pretty sweet.
Yeah, and made things. It was amazing. So I was filming this, and it's my video, and I stupidly said 33s instead of 37s. But I was amazed. There was this same little rock I saw these guys crawling over, and I saw the 37s go over it. Clearly, it's no big deal for that guy. And then you see 35s next in that same spot, and you're like, damn, those tires look tiny.
Yeah. And then, your buddy from Michigan that went over the same thing on those 33s, it was cool to see the video and watch it through. But that Bronco Raptor, it's amazing. We didn't even push that thing to, a quarter of what that thing's capable of doing. But we will, Super Cel, got a couple different trail routes we're going to run. We're going to push a little bit. We're going to go up for sure. Just, ease into it a little bit, and then we'll split out after we go to the overlook. And people can figure out which direction they want to go from the moderate to more mid to high impact. If they want to go play that game, they can.
Well, that's good that you guys have modified your off-road a little closer too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I talked to him. I was like, hey, how'd she do? And he was like, yeah, she did fine. And he was like, the only thing was that, of course, I'm a little wider, he said, so I had to be careful on how wide I was going on things and stuff like that. He said, but otherwise, I said, yeah, I didn't think you were going to have a challenge with it. I was just curious how smooth.
Yeah, if he went down by like Panther Rock, we got to cut through a bunch of the tree line. It's a lot tighter going through there. He had to, just pick his right line, but you can get through there. He did really good.
Yeah.
He said it was the first time he'd had it out in the dirt.
Yeah, well, he'd just gotten it.
Just like
sometime in January.
Yeah, he said he got it like 3 weeks ago. But yeah, first time he'd ever played with it, but it did really well.
Killed me that was our first time at Windrock with our Bronco, and we've been next to that damn place so many times with it and could never get over there. Now we've done all kinds of stuff like
where's that?
Windrock with the Bronco, but I mean we've done a lot of fun stuff with it. But Windrock's kind of my home for off-roading, and I really can't wait to go challenge it a little more than what we were doing. But definitely was the group we were with. You didn't want to go. There was I know Jim and them. They were very new to that kind of terrain.
Mm-hmm.
Not nervous, but a little cautious because especially our Michigan people that came down. That's a long drive home. Mm-hmm. So right. I totally.
And I had him air out his tires a little bit because he had the 33s, just get a little bit more traction going through. But then he was coming off. Some of the stuff I could tell he had never done it before. So he'd come off those rocks and he'd come off and just bounce, and he tapped a couple times going through. So we put more air back in his tires, let him go back, and he said he was fine after that. So
yeah, nice.
Yeah. Nice. I'm actually kind of hoping that the weather on Thursday, maybe Wednesday, rains a little bit, so it's a little bit wet up there. Also because if it rains, Bays Mountain won't let us go on Thursday, so I can go play on Friday at Bays Mountain because that place is a blast. I mean, it is some technical trail, but it is not a lot of rock. It is just more off camber, tree roots and that kind of thing. So it's a blast. And it's in a guy's backyard that I know. He's got 150 acres out there.
Wow.
He just goes through with a bulldozer. And if he doesn't like a trail, he clears it all the way back out and does his own thing. So, it's on his own private property. They can't tell him what to do. And we have a lot of fun out there.
Allie, just pulling the selfish card.
Yeah, Allie, you're going to do that with the backyard that you're getting, right? You just go take a dozer back there and just make your own off-road course.
I mean, technically, the yard connecting is my cousin, so I guess.
I mean, hey, what's family if you can't bulldoze their fence down? I mean,
if you want to do it, just go by Brian Deegan's house that just went on the market on Zillow. He's already got the track out back. He's got a dirt cross
man.
track and an off-road track out back behind his house.
I have already gone through the house buying process once. We're not doing this again for a while.
And she's not done entirely yet. So
No, we're so close. Wait, Flo just said a raptor went to the Arctic Circle.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Where is this
Nice.
article? Where is this stuff?
I've seen a couple posts of it. It was
I'll have to
a
look
little while
for it
back.
later. I haven't really been on Facebook a ton.
you don't know that this
Got jokes. We got jokes.
well, because Seth said that where did he
Feeling
say?
it.
He said something about I think this is it. All I know is that I'm 5'7" and 35s with B-locks make me feel like I'm Dave's age after I'm done rotating.
Wait,
Things are
why is
heavy.
everybody saying light bright?
I'm sure Peugeot and them have.
To the Arctic Circle.
Did they do
Maybe.
it? That sounds like something silly they would do.
That's where I saw the post at.
Well,
I'm sure they bitched the whole way that Ford created a piece of shit truck that'll get them lots of clicks, and then they'll go back to their Jeep. How amazing that Jeep is! So
Yeah.
Probably.
that's what I think of Light Bright. Let's see, guys, bring your questions or comments.
can I make my comment?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go right ahead. Ladies and gentlemen,
So
Miss
you-
Kelly Boyd.
So you don't know this, but it's funny because Sydney went with us wheeling this weekend, and she actually said while you were out spotting, she goes, "Mom, if we had a lot of land like this, would you cut trails in it?" I said, "Like, heck yeah." And
If
she
we
said,
just had 75,000 acres of land, would you do this,
she
Dad?
said, she said, "Now, would you like sell passes for people to like wheel on your property?" I said, "Yes." She
You asked
said,
Sydney how many more pairs of Jordans she thinks she could get if you did that.
"Right, right."
Well, that's probably what she's adding up.
Probably.
Profit.
And then she goes, "So would we probably cut our own trails that nobody could go on and just us?" And I said, "Probably." And she's like, "Okay, can we do that?" I said, "Do you have some money sitting somewhere that I don't know about?" She's like, "Well,
She got that Jordan money.
I know she's got that Jordan money, you know?" Wow.
Oh, I guarantee there's trails up there at Windrock that are closed off that just the Windrock guys go and play on.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But it was just funny that whole thought process went through her mind because this is the same girl that like 2 years ago didn't want to go wheeling with us whatsoever. And now she's all like, "Yeah, Dad, get out. I want to get in the passenger seat."
Yeah, she kept trying to call shotgun for the front seat when I was driving.
Yeah. I was
Um,
like, this is not how this works.
I asked
Allie,
her how
you'd
her
be-
elbow was, and she's like, "How'd you know about my elbow?"
Allie, you'd be happy Windrock has a Maverick.
Yes, they do. As one of their
Two Mavericks, Josh
Yeah.
says.
They have a Maverick.
Two.
Yeah.
How did they get one?
Right.
Josh,
they probably
Josh
don't
knows
want
what
them
I'm
no
talking
fridge.
about.
They
Well, I know
just use
this
them as
place
for their security vehicles. So like it literally is at the gate checking people in, running stuff back and forth. So it's not it's two FX4 Mavericks, and they're not like going up on trails with it, but they run them at the front gate.
I mean, I'll give it to some people. Some people have definitely built up their Mavericks to where like I wasn't even expecting it. Like there was a guy the other day. I don't think he got it from us, but he was like parked over near service, and he had a 2-inch lift on it. He had bigger tires on it, and it looked just like a smaller Ranger at that point. I'm like, that doesn't look so bad. It actually was very impressive of what the guy did.
Well, Chase did one and put 35s on it.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Look at
Front
that.
wheel drive 35.
Yeah, it looked pretty cool.
For
Probably
the
didn't
looks.
turn though, right?
No, it did. They drove it. It turned perfectly fine. It was like a 2.5 inch lift on it. Put 35s on, maybe a 3-inch lift. But they drove it out. Chase drove it. It did a really
Dang.
good job.
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give it to them. I mean, for the cost of that truck, it's not horrible.
No.
At all. I mean, I just can't believe the demand for them.
Yeah.
It's just insane.
It is. It's crazy.
What's the fun? It brings back a lot of memory of my childhood because either people would slam their little trucks or they would jack them up. So
Yeah.
it's kind of fun that we have some vehicles like that again.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what we got here. You need to put a bikini on your thumbnails.
No, you need to put Dave in a bikini on your
Yeah,
thumbnails for clicks.
I got that. Nobody wants to see that. I mean, there's a select small 1% group probably that does.
I don't think it's 1%, my dear.
Well, OnlyFans, here we come. There we go.
I'm saying less than 1%, my dear.
Oh, man, why don't you crush my ego a little bit?
Would you like to wear a bikini?
Not particularly.
Okay, then.
I mean, you know, depends on how
Nikki
much money.
said way too small.
What?
I don't know.
What are you referring to?
That's a whole nother. That's a whole nother channel that we're not going down. Tiny Nation.
Tiny Nation. That's for the Maverick show. Tiny Nation.
Well, you know, Maverick.
Maybe that's what she's saying is that the Maverick is way too small.
Let's hope.
Not you or your bikini.
Well, you know, hey.
Oh Lord.
You put me in a thong, you're going to get pennies. So just remember that.
Next topic, please.
Sock on your bikini, Doug says.
Nikki said yes, the Maverick.
Thanks for
scared me there.
It was Nikki's birthday this weekend.
Happy
Happy
birthday,
Nikki.
Happy birthday.
Nikki, how many miles you have on your Bronco now? I'm curious. We know poor Gia. She can't put many miles on hers because she's had some issues.
Too soon, Dave. Too soon.
She was too badass at Holly Oaks, and it needed to go in for some rehab.
Is it? I don't even know. Is it fixed yet?
Yeah. And then it went back in for a recall.
Sweet
motor recall. God damn it. She has to. What I heard was she has to have a new motor put in the thing.
Oh God.
So there was that weird window of valve issues or something.
Nikki has 6,000. Dang, girl.
I know, right? Just put them on there quick.
And Peugeot's got 63.
We're not in that window for the what did you say? It was a recall?
The backup camera thing.
The backup camera thing, but we are totally affected by it.
Yeah.
Like we've totally experienced it.
Yeah, it won't shut off sometimes,
but we're not part of the window.
So this is you can still take it in and have them document it though.
But it won't.
If people come and document it, they might open that window range a little bit.
Yeah, you need to bring it in. Here's the thing: Ford Pass. Is your Ford Pass active?
Yeah.
It will notify and it marks it in the calendar every time that something doesn't connect.
Do what it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know. I haven't heard
good
it.
to know.
Yeah, if you look up in the right hand corner of your Ford Pass and you see there's 37 notifications, if you open them up, a lot of that stuff will be in there. Anytime you take air pressure out of the tires when we go four wheeling, it'll tell you your tire pressure time. But anytime anything malfunctions at all, it will tell you in the Ford Pass app that the computer recognized something's not right, and it'll save it in there.
Is it in the message center?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, only my hill start assist warnings.
I've never had my camera message me on it, but when you go into Oasis, you can see the calendar.
Yeah.
When you plug in the VIN number, I can go back and tell you every single day that my camera wasn't working or I had a fault somewhere.
Nice.
And
Ford Pass documents and it'll save it for the service center in Oasis. If it doesn't show up in your message center. Yeah,
it saves it for 60 or 90 days.
Oh.
And I literally brought it back to one of our techs. I'm like, Andy, fix it.
Well, what if you have one of the worst dealerships in Middle Tennessee that you have to deal with?
Yeah.
Then you should just drive down to Knoxville and we'll fix it.
Yeah.
We should have done that this weekend, Josh.
Yeah, Josh. Thanks
for the reminder.
Notice how he does this after the fact.
Well, I didn't know until you're already back home and it's Monday.
You should have anticipated.
Excuses.
Oh, sorry.
So interesting thing. So we did a video on the Ranger Raptor, and there was I like to, if I do, if I get a story from somewhere, I'd like to put their link involved. And Ranger 6G kind of got themselves in a little bit of a bind because somebody at Ford borrowed a Ranger Raptor, which they're allowed to do. Sometimes they let people get in them that for the weekend just to they want to know their feedback. So I guess he let his neighbor do a full review on the vehicle. And like an idiot. And I have to say thank you though, because I got a good story out of that. And now that story's suddenly gone. It's disappeared off the internet. Not my version, but How much of a no if you guys? So we have Ford employees that do watch this. How much of a no is that? You guys have obviously this week. There's news. I can't talk about it. You guys can't talk about it really, but they're tired of stuff slipping through the cracks like this. What kind of a no is this?
Well, that's
Like,
one of those things where you can go ahead and fill your application out for GMC. But you're
nobody wants to leak information.
No, they don't even want you after that. After they find out,
so like people blackball you once they see that this is why you got released from Ford for release information. You're not getting another. You can go work at Jiffy Lube. I mean, it's literally
you will not work for another automotive company.
No.
Period.
I mean, you got billions of dollars on the line, and it can be the smallest thing. Like you saw when the guys, like they were coming out with the new Corvette, they had a bunch of those guys grab them from Kentucky and go run them up and down the street, and they weren't supposed to. And every single one of those guys now work at Walmart or Subway because there's not another job in the automotive industry they can get.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've been hit up with the pictures that were leaked from Map of the Cactus Gray or Ranger Raptor. I was leaked by somebody else.
Completely not related to the
I had people left and right hitting me up going, hey, man, that's a buddy of mine. You're going to get him fired. And I was like, no, your buddy got himself fired because he put those on the internet or he give them to somebody that once it's on the internet, it doesn't come away.
It is what it is.
I mean, the crazy part about it, too, is they will go back and they'll pull all video cameras from the factory line, the assembly line, whatever, and review the entire thing until they figure out who did it. And then they're toast.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like people don't understand. Like it's the world we're living in today, folks. Like technology is your best friend and your worst enemy all at the same time. Because like I work for a telecommunications company, and every single keystroke that is done on my computer is recorded. Yeah. You may not see me on a camera, but you're gonna see every single thing that I do on my computer. And people don't understand that that's the world we're living in, that everything is recorded because they have to from a liability perspective. And everything else.
I watched him at Nissan walk people out. There was an engineer on the floor, flipped his phone out, just check nothing. He wasn't doing it. And they watched him right out the door, fired him right on the spot.
Yeah.
Like, they don't play. But I am amazed with Ford, though, that when the Bronco was first, there was photos coming out of Map like crazy. I'm like, it was almost encouraged by Ford. It seemed like that all these photos came out.
So you got to think of it. Some of it was somewhat staged at some points where they wanted to leak just enough information to where, hey, just keep, it's coming. Mm-hmm. And every manufacturer has the right to do that. They will get it okayed by the marketing and everybody else higher up, and then they'll drop one or two pictures here or there of a tail light or a front fender or whatever.
Yeah. A teaser of something.
Yeah. But they've been teasing you for, 20 plus years about it coming. And then finally when it is coming, they'll drop a picture or photo here or there every once in a while.
Yeah. It was funny though, after the plant photos got leaked, suddenly the next day there was a Ranger Raptor parked at a Target.
Yeah.
It was like, well, Ford's trying to
cover up.
let's get attention away from that photo.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Allie.
I mean, even like Josh and I today, we kind of joked before the show, like Josh and I sat through a meeting today. They're very specific now to dealers with how much has leaked, especially on these forums and things like that. Like we have to have a chance to talk to our customers before 50 articles are leaked on all of these forums because there's so much misinformation. We want to get everyone taken care of, and we want to do it the right way. And everything they said today was not wrong. I mean, we're all guilty of it, like posting stuff on social media saying, hey, we want to take these orders. We want to do this. We want to do that. You're trying to give the good information without giving too much, but things get twisted, and it's insane. I've never sat through a meeting where so many times they have reminded us, hey, don't say anything. Let us get email blasts out. Let us do this. Let us do that. Like basically let them be first, which they should be first. And then dealers can go and say stuff.
Yeah.
So with Ranger Raptor coming though, and even the new Ranger, they have to be preparing you guys. I mean, they're not telling you anything about that yet, but I think they're trying to set the tone with you guys of like, look, man, stop effing up our deal, because they spend billions of dollars just on marketing these damn things. For some employees, some $20 an hour employee to snap a photo and ruin it all.
And
it's good for me. Like honestly, my business side, which is not connected to you guys on that.
Yeah.
But it's good for us, but it just sucks for you guys, man.
I think it kind of sucks because you get to know these people on like a friendship level and a like workmanship level, and it's like they put so much time and effort into these vehicles and these launches because they want everyone to be so happy, and it just kind of sucks for them because then they can't have their moment like, here it is, it's finally arrived, like we hope you guys love it type of a thing. But I mean, that's my take on it.
You've got, an average car, I would say, is between 5 and 6 years from like thought of to on paper to clay models to engine choices to suspension, whatever. Like it's a lot of time away from family, friends, birthdays, anniversaries, whatever. And when it gets ruined by someone, taking a photo of them testing something down the assembly line, and they just don't get that, full effect of it. Or I've seen them before. They've, done it, tried to produce something, someone leaked some stuff, and they just totally scrap the project because now it's out there and they can't trust what's going on. So it's billions of dollars and billions of dollars around the world spent, on getting something on the street for you guys to drive. So
yeah, and people don't realize a lot of manufacturing plants are trade zones. Like there's secrets in there. They don't want Toyota or somebody learning some new process they're doing unless they want to reveal it. Because they have a lot of Ford will release videos of stuff going down the line and all that. But there's like, I know when I worked for Nissan, like it's a trade zone. The plant in Smyrna, the area those cars sit in is a trade zone, and you F that up. You don't just, it's not just like, it's not like, nobody cares. No, it's national or it's a worldwide issue.
Yeah, so a lot of embargoes on stuff. Like when the Bronco first came out, a lot of the interior stuff wasn't done. So it was like, can't release this until X date at X time. And they're very specific. They will stand there with a lock and key and wait till it is, a minute after that time is up for the embargo to get lifted, because it's a lot of money on the line.
Yeah, and we go to press events where we will get lucky to get in vehicles before they're released to the public, and we will be told, hey, there's an embargo on driving impressions until such and such date at such and such time, Eastern time, or whatever, like 11:59. That's why people, if you guys don't notice, sometimes when we drop something, if it is a new vehicle, you'll see everybody drops it at the same time, because all the press got the ability to read or to watch it or drive it or, do whatever before and get all their stuff ready. And then at that time is the lift. And the good side to that is that it gives all the press a chance to get their ideas wrapped around it and really kind of give their opinions on it. But there are people that screw that up and leak it and get in trouble and ruin the integrity. It's the same idea.
Segue to in this conversation is because that was the point of the guy did all these photos. I have a video of all this stuff. And, he broke some news of for a long time, what motor is this vehicle, the Ranger, going to get? Well, I mean, common sense tells you it was going to get whatever map is producing the Bronco. It was probably going to get that. This guy confirmed all this stuff without Ford, just giving an employee the ability to drive a vehicle. And then his buddy was wise enough to take some good photos. I appreciate those photos, by the way. But it was smart enough to it lays it out. There's all these legal things they have to put in these vehicles.
They have their own security team that goes in and like researches like all of this. Like I had gotten the screenshot and I saw it on Facebook myself from the guy who had posted it and sent it to one of the managers at MAP saying, hey, you have a shitstorm brewing, here you go. And I literally sent the guy's name, like everything, and he's like his next test was, oh damn.
Yeah. Like I will say though, it didn't take off like I thought that would. Like the whole engine things, and I'm not going to break it down for you guys because they work with this and they can't talk about everything. But I was surprised that story really didn't take off more about the motor options that are coming. So it's kind of interesting to me. Allie, what's the dealership like these days? How for both of you guys? How is the weird economy? Have you guys seen since a couple banks have failed? Is customers kind of freaking out?
We've actually gotten emails from both of our banks that says, "Don't worry, we're good." We're good.
Yeah.
We're protected.
Is it screwing with any customers yet? Any weird things?
Not. I mean, I think the biggest thing is payments are up. Like, payments across the board are not what they used to be, and there's a lot of sticker shock for everyone. Unless you have a protected rate from ordering your car, interest rates are up, payments are up. There's just a lot of sticker shock for everyone. So I think you have more people who are a little less like trigger ready to pull. Like,
I will say they've, people still need to buy cars. It's not going to change that. It's just they instead of getting
they need to feel confident in their decision.
Right. Instead of getting like a platinum F-150, they might go down to an XLT because the payment's going to be $150 cheaper a month or whatever. I will say Ford's done a really good job on like the 22, trying to get them out. Like some of them down here in the South, we've got 0.9 for 60 on F-150s, which is ridiculous because that's not out there anywhere. 2.9 on 72. So Ford's trying to get more aggressive and try to buy some business because technically they're not a bank, but they, do have Ford credit, and they were trying to buy more business that way because the majority of the banks now, the average, with 800 beacon score yesterday or Saturday, I was looking, we did a deal in the 825 beacon score, bought a F-150 Platinum, and his rate was like 8.6%.
Oh,
so, and that's an 825 beacon score.
I might be number 50 over here with Allie.
I mean, and that's the thing. And then I'm just waiting for people to jump in the chat, be like, "Oh no, it's just a dealership." So, prime example, a guy who bought a Maverick. He had an 800 credit score. I think it was like 807, 809. It wasn't quite 810. Was approved through Chase for 60 months at 7.9, I believe.
Yeah. Ford
was at least able to beat it, and I gave him the option. I'm like, okay, you can either pay 7.9 at Chase, or you can at least do 7. I think it was like 7.2 or something because we called them to get an exception. And we're like, hey, because Ford's working with customers, saying, hey, this is what they're being offered. Will you match or beat it? Yes or no? Like, we don't care who you finance through. Yes, obviously it benefits us if you finance through Ford because it helps our allocation because we floor plan through Ford. So with that obviously helps us, but it's your car. We're going to give you the choice that you want to do. Because especially they ordered it and they've waited a year and a half for this.
I will say I have seen an uptake in people bringing a lot more cash to the table than they used to.
I was going to say that too. We have had so many people. Like, I couldn't get, a year and a half, 2 years ago, I could not get $2,000 for a down payment. But now I have people whipping out money left and right paying cash for cars.
I wonder if they're withdrawing from their 401ks or
a lot of them are pulling out a 401k, but
a lot of them are just because it's all down anyway. And then if they're getting paid back, I mean, I'm guessing it's paid back in interest.
Because I know the way my 401k works is that if I take a loan from my 401k, and this is not Finance Nation, it's just how it works for my 401k. We've actually done it where we've pulled from my 401k to buy vehicles because the interest rate, it doesn't cost me anything except for the tax piece of withdrawing. Right. And then I'm paying myself back. I'm not actually losing any interest whatsoever on my 401k. So it's always benefited us to do that. So I'm wondering if that's what you're seeing a lot of people.
I know a Jeep Gladiator that might be a down payment. So somebody, I think they're a viewer of ours, they posted, hey, we're looking to buy vehicles. And I was like, hey, I have a Jeep for sale. Because honestly, I don't want to put it on Marketplace because what a nightmare. Everybody with a 500 credit score is like, hey, I'm going to my bank. I'm going to get it. Right. Sure you are.
Don't sell it. I'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah. But I was amazed. I'm hearing used car prices are going up again. And I was amazed at the offer I got. I was like,
it goes in waves.
I'm not giving you this vehicle either. So
it honestly, it goes in waves. I've seen, especially the last couple of weeks, I think it's been a little bit more crazy, but it's definitely not what it was a year ago.
No, and if you look at just talking about Ford Lightning or Mustang Mach-E, for example, those prices have tanked and crashed on the used side. People are trying to buy them and flip them.
Yeah.
I had a GT Mach-E. It's got 3,000 miles on it. Guy paid $74,000 for it 2.5 months ago, and it's worth like $50,000 now. just on market side of things. So it is taking, a roller coaster up and down, and 1 week it'll be up, 1 week it'll be down.
Yeah.
It's not as big of a jump or influx as it was a year ago, but it's still the market seeming to, find its own niche and center itself out a little bit.
Do you think EVs though for that are just starting to cool down? Because I think the hype of Lightning was real. I think there was a lot of people that was like, oh my God, it's an electric truck. But then I think they get it and they're like, this doesn't do anything truck like that I want for my lifestyle. Not crap from the vehicle. It's a good vehicle. But and now these are flooding because I'm seeing them around here. I'm seeing used Lightnings and stuff like that. Yeah. They're flooding the market now.
Yeah, you have a lot of people who just wanted to flip them.
Yeah, we had a lot of people, but I like a buddy of mine, Derek. He got the guy that won the juvenile diabetes first edition Bronco last year. Nice. He kept it till his Lightning came in, flipped it for the Lightning Platinum, and then I just swapped him out of that Saturday for a new Raptor. But you'll see, because Tesla went down in price, trying to compete with everybody else and knock everybody else out of the range. Then all the prices on EVs now have dropped out, plus some of the battery constraints and battery issues and stuff they're having have really tanked the market on the prices for them. So
here's a good question. I've noticed a lot more used cars with salvage titles in the marketplace. Are dealers seeing that as well? Would that be because I know during the pandemic it seemed like you get a dent and it was just easier for the insurance companies to, it's totaled.
Yeah, so I went to the auction last week and I bought a couple vehicles. One was a Jeep that I bought, and it had some lower engine noise. Well, it turned out to be a fuel pump, right? So I reached out to the auction just trying to get some help with it, and they're like, "We'll just buy the Jeep back because that fuel pump is on a national back order. Never know when we're going to get it fixed for you." So they wrote me a check back for $58,000 over a $300 fuel pump. So all the salvage titles, I've seen a couple more here lately than normal, but they all go to the auction and normally end up in a buy here, pay here lot. We don't sell any of the salvage stuff at my store.
Same.
Just don't,
it's too much of a hassle.
Yeah, it's too many issues. We send them to the auction and the buy here, pay here's, or someone on Marketplace, if they go to the public auction, can buy them.
I know there's an R8 right now with the salvage title that I'd really like to buy though.
Yeah.
No.
Come on, it's like a cheap Lambo.
No.
I can't have nothing, man. See, she takes my Bronco and doesn't allow me to have any vehicle I want.
I don't let you have anything. Terrible wife.
Lord.
So awful.
She lets you have some good
my hat too, and she took my hat.
You can have it back after the show. Gosh. Wait,
she lets you have good walking shoes for Saturday.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. See? What was talked about at the softball game tonight that we need to talk about on All Terrain Nation? I don't remember. Is there a list?
Oh, we were fighting with each other. It was fun.
We were bickering at the softball game.
Yes.
And we told the parents we were just going to talk about it on the show tonight, and it would make it all better.
See, look, start texting. R8s are badass, Dave. Get one.
I know they're badass, and I would like to have one, but we are not getting an R8
I couldn't
right
imagine
now.
what an insurance on a car like
we
that.
can't even.
Oh,
a car payment.
No thanks.
I can dream.
So guess what we saw at Buc-ee's this weekend?
What did we see at Buc-ee's?
A beaver.
Tesla charging station.
Oh yeah,
not just one.
Like a whole row.
Yeah.
They're coming.
So they're starting to put them in over there. The new Buc-ee's that is up in Sevierville that'll be open right at Super Cel. There is 14 or 15 of them up there.
Here's the thing. There's not a Buc-ee's in Michigan, so I literally get to go to the one in Kentucky on the way down.
I don't.
Well, the one in Sevierville is the world's largest.
Yeah, is there?
Yeah, it was brand new on our way home from Super Cel last year.
Yeah, you need to go to the Sevierville one because it is going to be. I don't know what I just did. I pushed a button.
Yeah, it'll be the world's largest Buc-ee's until they rebuild the one in Texas.
Well, we're getting one here, so I'm
It's
very
insane.
excited.
So the Buc-ee's in Kentucky on the way home from Tennessee, it was like their opening weekend.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, oh my Lord.
It's a zoo on a non-grand opening weekend. I can only imagine.
Very overwhelming. I did not know what I was getting myself into, but like
the Disneyland of gas stations.
Yes.
I will say Buc-ee's is very much like you don't even need an energy drink before you go into Buc-ee's. You just go into Buc-ee's and you get an energy drink just from walking around.
I was
If
so
nothing else, from
overwhelmed.
frustration of getting run over by everybody in the store.
That is
Yes.
true. Yes.
Much like Disneyland.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Yes.
Yeah, it was very overwhelming. My anxiety was freaking
Yeah, it's
out.
Oh
pretty
yeah, no,
extreme.
it's very stressful. But you know what? The best bathrooms in the world, they're always
True
clean.
story.
They were.
You know, it's the whole store is really clean. So,
And have you ever looked at the pay plan for Buc-ee's?
Wait, what's Buc-ee's? Buc-ee's is the best place ever.
Yeah. Have you ever looked at the pay plan for Buc-ee's?
The pay
No.
plan.
Yes, it's great.
Oh yeah.
It's insane.
I told him, I was like, I may leave my job
Like
and get
$25 an
a
hour to
job
start out working at
when it moves
Buc-ee's.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what was that question? I missed it.
Oh, it said, do they have an In-N-Out burger in Michigan? No, they don't.
Nope.
No, they
But
do
we're getting
not.
them in Tennessee. Ooh,
I've
ooh.
never. So I can honestly say I've never had In-N-Out burger.
You're missing out.
Animal style.
Never
Just
had
saying.
one.
Or Freddy's. Freddy's is one of the. They have
Never
it
had-
over Oliver Springs or
Yes.
Oak Ridge.
Oak
I
Ridge.
love Freddy's to death. Best milkshake ever.
No,
I've
you said
never
Andy's is
had
the best
that
milkshake.
either.
It's pretty close. Pretty close.
So Ragnar Khan, funny you should ask. Wait, what is a Buc-ee's? Well, I actually did a video before Buc-ee's became all the
Here we
rage in our
go.
region when I went on a girls' trip 2 years ago, 3 years ago now. But my video wasn't good enough, so Dave never put it together.
Yes.
Otherwise, you could know exactly what a Buc-ee's is, Ragnar Khan. My
Let me
apologies for my
explain
husband.
Buc-ee's to you. It is the PBR Rodeo and Walmart combined of a gas station with every sandwich, beef jerky.
Wait, gas station, 100 gas pumps.
Where's my
Yeah.
beef jerky?
Oh man, I mean,
Wait,
beef
their
jerky,
bris-
sandwiches, whatever
their
you want.
brisket
It's awesome.
Their brisket is good.
Yes.
Honestly, I've not had anything there food-wise that hasn't been good. Like I've gotten their chicken sandwich because I wanted to change it up. And I got a chicken wrap the last time we were there. That was really good. Their French
all
fries
fresh.
are on point.
The banana pudding's great.
The banana pudding is great.
I never thought I would say getting brisket from a gas station.
It's different though. You stand around and they say, "Hi, brisket coming down the line," or whatever it is.
Look,
Yeah,
they're gonna
something like
hire you
that.
now.
I
They're gonna be like,
know.
she knows
I
how
Well,
to
they
still
have
don't
a
think
great
if they
pay
made
plan.
sushi at Buc-ee's, I'd eat it.
Huh?
if they
I
make
still don't
what?
think I could eat sushi from Buc-ee's if they made it. I just
I don't know. I've ate some bad sushi.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying. He doesn't think he
No,
could.
I'm just saying. Our local Kroger's makes it, and after you have really good sushi, you're just kind of like
He doesn't even want it from Kroger anymore. It used to be
He's
his
just like,
favorite.
well, it
$5
kinda-
Wednesday sushi.
it kind of hits the spot. Oh yeah, the $5 sushi, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I'm
boy.
with it.
But our local, I don't eat sushi. I don't.
Actually, she does.
But our local place right across the street from our house, that it's so fresh. Like you don't even like, I haven't typically liked sushi because the seaweed is usually really fishy, but this is not. It's so good.
Yeah.
Don't I said
crunchy,
that.
crunchy shrimp.
Crunchy
roll.
shrimp roll. Sorry. We turned into Food
I
Nation.
know. Best gas station sushi ever. Oh my god. So guys, that is the show tonight.
Seth said, I'm getting in Monday. Is there a must-see hiking area or trail? I would say anything in the Smokies.
Yeah.
Like
Yes,
the Smoky
so,
Mountains are right there.
Abram Falls, anywhere in Cades Cove you want to go play. Those places are prime. Just know if you're going to take your car up into the Smoky Mountains and park it on the side, you got to pay a $15 like a permit for parking, and it's anything over 15 minutes, or they can sit you a ticket. Just trying to keep emissions down out of the park, so and clear the areas out for more people come in and out. So
Yeah, we have Culver's here in
I have
town,
a
and
Culver's.
burgers are actually pretty good.
Fries are really good too. Oh, Five Guys. Oh my
I
god.
like the cheese curds.
We haven't ate dinner tonight, you can tell.
I have a burger downstairs for you.
Woo!
It's going to be cold, but it's a
I
Sonic
don't care
burger.
right now, man. I don't care.
I figured.
Josh, I appreciate you bringing Mr. Tom on tonight. We greatly
Yeah, no
Yeah,
problem.
thank you.
enjoyed
That was
operating with you.
that was awesome.
no
Yes.
problem.
Tom is a character. I like that.
Dude, Tom is he is a great person. Him and his whole family are amazing.
Yeah,
And,
Paul and Don are great people.
Yeah, when you get to Super Cel, just go meet him, talk to him. You can see the passion behind it, and it's not an anything or ploy to get your money, make money. They care actually genuinely about everybody that shows up.
Mhm.
So it is a great family to know and hang out with and work with. So
Matt, you get the parking passes at Tom's website. I think Dave and Kelly already posted it.
Yep.
Yeah, Bronco Driver Magazine.
Allie, I know Bronco, not much you can talk about, but the order banks are coming.
They are coming.
So, and
contact
it's
your
gonna be
dealer.
quick, guys. Expect like you better have your dealer on speed dial. That's how quick.
Expect it to open and close like gas station sushi. It is. It's gonna be quick.
Yeah,
just quick as gas station sushi comes back up.
Yeah.
Josh will agree with me with the statement. Just contact your dealer that you want to work with to talk to them about next steps and things like that. And it is actually opening.
Don't go crazy. If you want a Bronco, don't get all fancy with your order. Keep it simple. Yeah. And that's about all we can talk about that right now. I appreciate you being on, Josh. Hopefully we get to wheel again soon. We will indeed. Every time you're at Windrock, I can't get over there. So maybe we can get Allie down here one of these days to actually just a small gap. It doesn't take a big Bronco Super Cel, Allie. Windrock's open 365.
24 hours a day.
Yeah. No, I will have to make another trip down.
And it'll be incognito, just like quietly, just be like, and then that weekend, suddenly there's pictures of you having fun on social media. See how that works? Weird. It doesn't have to be a big deal.
Weird.
I know. And then friends of Ford will still love you.
Oh my God.
All right, guys, thank you everybody for being on here tonight. If you would smash that like button for me, we had upwards of 90 people in here and only 56 likes. So if you would do that, I greatly appreciate that. So whether it be 2-wheel drive, Kelly,
4-wheel drive,
does it really matter what we talk about tonight?
Does it really matter? You totally messed it up. Does it really matter?
I didn't mess it up. Of course it matters. We're talking Broncos here on the channel. Jeez. Peace, everybody.
See ya.